so dumb. That's the best word I can have for this show. And I'm sure a lot of people enjoyed this show. But I'm seeing it from the perspective of what does this give the company? What does this give the wrestlers? What does this give the fans? And in actuality, it gives nothing to nobody. I mean, there were only a few things that were done in this show that, at least for storyline wise, was okay. But for the major things that they have been building into and sponsor and package, nothing. So let's go to the opening of the kickoff. Elias versus Apollo Cruz. Look, I don't really care that much about Apollo Cruz. He's got a great talent, but we haven't seen him much. And to be honest, he'd probably be better off as a heel. So you see Elias. Are you ready to walk with Elias? Compared to Apollo Cruz, very vanilla, very boring. And let's be honest, Akira Tozawa had more time than him. We knew who was going to win here. We knew who was going to lose. And you get this. Now a possible feud between a Titus O'Neil and Elias. Now I wouldn't mind seeing Elias get over by someone who's been there for a while, who was a tag champ at one time. Actually, 2-time tag champ in the Primetime Players. But how far are they willing to push Elias? Hopefully they will. He has a good look. He has a good gimmick. Let's just hope they're not stupid. Opening up the show. I want to get this done because this is one of the few things I felt that was done well. At least well enough for the story and well enough for suspense and action. And that is Miz versus Jason Jordan. If we're going by a good type of situation where Jason Jordan is going to turn heel, his dad is going to turn heel, and then they're going to run roughshod over Raw, then this makes perfect sense. Having him lose to The Miz is the wisest thing to do. In fact, having The Miz lose, period, is not wise because he's so over. And if anyone believes The Miz is not over and not so good at his craft, then you really need to reevaluate how many real heels do you have that you can love. Because you love to hate him and you hate to love him. That is Miz. That's how good he is. And I'm glad he won here. And if they are really going to push Jason Jordan as a heel, then turn Kurt Angle heel, and they're going to run roughshod over Raw, then I'm all for it. If they do nothing with this, this makes no sense. And you should have never done the Jason Jordan Kurt Angle angle. Saying angle twice. But you got to do it. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the tag team. Oh my gosh. I have not looked at Cesaro's Twitter yet. I am sure they're going to show him missing at least 2 teeth. When you look at this match, it was highly competitive. And I'm angry at Dean Ambrose. Because if he was directly responsible for Mr. Cesaro losing his front possible 2 teeth, that just shows how bad the man has not been doing his craft. Because let's be honest here. To do a monkey flip, a slingshot, or anything like that, you got to practice it. You got to make sure that when you grab the person properly, you got to know exactly how far you're near the ring ropes, near the turnbuckle, or in this case, near the ring post where Cesaro lost his 2 front freaking teeth. But I'll say this. Cesaro for champ. It is his time. The guy lost 2 teeth for this freaking company. He needs to get a freaking title shot at the Universal Champion. He needs it. The guy can go. He lost 2 freaking teeth. He was bleeding from his mouth profusely. And he was still willing to continue the match when he could have stopped. He was bleeding heavily from his mouth. At least it slowed down by the time the match was over. But he was bleeding heavily from his mouth. It wasn't just a little blood that was coming from his mouth. You can see the pictures in my face. You can see the pictures to my shoulder. The man was doing work. He was the only one there that is viable to become a real champion. Not an IC champion, not a US champion, a world, or in this case, universal champion. This man needs to be pushed. And the match itself was good. Until Cesaro lost his 2 front teeth, possibly. And then I really hate Dean Ambrose for being so sloppy in the freaking ring, because he was so freaking sloppy in the ring and barely was willing to sell anything. Now, of course, that was making the suspense, and a lot of people are going to say that, but no, he was not willing to sell anything. If you saw when he got his shoulder whacked into the chair, not the chair, but the, calm down, when Cesaro threw Dean Ambrose into the steps, he didn't even react immediately. He screamed afterward. That just shows you how sloppy he is. And if anyone still loves Dean, give me a reason why to love him when he made Cesaro lose his teeth. Or tooth. I don't know which one it is. I'm going to watch and see. Now, let's get to the matches that made no sense. Man versus man. You know what? I don't even need to show images. I just need to show the advertisement that was in the show. Because this was the most stupidest match. No, actually, I'll show the ending. Or maybe just an image of just Bray. Or just Finn winning. When that makes no sense. What was the point of this match? A man versus man match means nothing. It's just a standard match with a stupid name. And worse yet, instead of letting Bray win, to make this make some sense, to have a rubber match, maybe at, what is the next one, TLC? No! You get Finn winning, which doesn't even help Finn, because Finn is doing absolutely nothing. Look, I'm not a Finn Balor fan. I said it many months ago. He's going to be here, and then the WWE is going to make him like this. Mean nothing. No matter how much the fans are going to care, the guy means nothing. You know why? He's got no build. He's got nothing. And for what I understand, Triple H is actually kind of pissed off because the fans are not 100% sold on him. Particularly that there's not that many fans that are in the seats to be sold on him. I've seen the Slug Daddy's video. I've seen the Deluxe Man's video. There's very few people that are in the stands anymore because the storylines, the writing, and the company sucks. And you can see by this very stupid match. I'm sorry, it's just stupid. Here's another match that makes no freaking sense. The Fatal 5-Way. Really? Really? You're going to keep Alexa Bliss with the title. Mind you, I like Alexa Bliss. She's actually good on the mic. She's so-so in the ring. But she does very well on the mic to compensate for that. That's the reason why I like her. Then you got Sasha Banks, which we've seen multiple times win the title and multiple times lose the title, which she's buried. Then you got Bayley, we don't care that much about because they're not doing anything with. Then you have Emma. I remember Emma Evolution. I remember the very first person to come up from the show NXT, not the developmental. The show that led into developmental. She was the first person to get onto the roster. And they dropped her ass like a hot potato. They didn't do nothing with her. And of course, it didn't really make any sense for her to win. There was only one woman there that made sense, and that was Nia Jax. They literally suplexed her, or actually they powerbombed her off of the ring skirt itself and let her whack her head into the mat. Just so not to let her have that title. Are you serious? Asuka's coming in around Survivor Series, I believe, or TLC. I can't remember. I think TLC. Yeah, she's coming in around TLC. So you would expect that you got to give her a real challenger. No. You don't give her Nia Jax, who is one of her most difficult opponents. No. You continue having Alexa Bliss hold the title. 5 Feet of Fury is no match for, as they quote, the Empress of Tomorrow. She will get her ass wasted. I would rather see a real challenge than a shrimpy challenge. And this is what you got with a Nia Jax. You got a real challenge. And what do we get? Nothing. Nothing! This was so dumb. This is what is going to be the title of the show. This is going to be the title of this review. So dumb. If anyone doesn't get it, I'm sorry. I can't help you. Now, here's another thing that kind of doesn't make any sense. Particularly how they packaged it. Super Cena versus Superman. Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Was this a good match? It was good. Was it a great match? No, it wasn't. You know why? It's simple. You see, if John Cena had not done what he did in the last couple of weeks building into this pay-per-view, I would think this would have been a great match. Because if John Cena didn't go to Cena mode and buried his opponent, not just being on the mic, but essentially going out of freaking character and ruining his own promo segments, John Cena could have made this special. Could have at least made this interesting. But no. One, John Cena went off of character when dealing with Roman Reigns. The ergo shooting on Roman Reigns, which was bullshit. He still acted the same way and worse. He acted outside the character the writers wrote for him. Then you get this match. And you wonder, what are we supposed to care about here? Are we supposed to care about Roman Reigns actually getting over on Cena and this being special for him because he will be the one that's going to get the torch next? No. Fuck John Cena. I'm taking that from the Slick Daddy. I'm sorry, Slick Daddy. I'm sorry. This had to be done. I had to say it like that because this is stupid. Because at the very end of it, when John Cena loses and Roman Reigns leaves the ring, it would have been better for John Cena to leave the ring and let Roman Reigns have this moment. No matter if they booed for him, at least it would have been for Roman Reigns. No, this is all about Cena. And then worse, after kneeling on the ground, being in a corner. Sorry, I'm getting it backwards. First he was in a corner. Shocked. Then he was kneeling. I don't know if I got that shot. I'll have to check. Then he gets up and bows. And then gets out of the ring, greets a kid, gives the shoulder band. And then everyone is saying, thank you, Cena. I want to smack the living hell out of every person that was in that freaking arena. Because this is the reason why the company sucks so freaking bad. It's not the fact that John Cena doesn't work in the ring. When he wants, he can work. It's not the fact that John Cena can't cut a good promo. When he wants, he could cut a good promo. It's the fact that instead of making sure this company is actually going to have people that's going to work for the next years after he's gone, he literally dropped them. And then worse, Vince allowed this, because this is still about Vince McMahon allowing John Cena to act like this for the simple reason, I've said this before, I'll say it again. The only reason that John Cena is on top is because he's the only one that stayed. Because Rock left, Austin left, Batista left, Triple H is not wrestling much anymore, Edge got hurt, Daniel Bryan got hurt. That is the only reason he's been on top for so freaking long, is because the people that left or got hurt and had to leave. And this is what you get. A guy who's 6 years younger than me. He's 40. He's 6 years younger than me. And he's not caring about the business. He's caring about making business for himself. And worse yet, Vince rather have the same guy do the same thing over and over again and not penalize him because the guy stayed and put in the time and he likes him. What a mistake you make. If no one knows where that came from, look up Allo Allo. An old British comedy. Still love it. Anyway. That was bullshit. Now, what's next here? You have one thing we know it had to happen. And it was kind of going with Enzo, but kind of not. Enzo versus Neville for the Cruiserweight title. I boxed it for a reason. I knew there had to be some screwy ending for Enzo to win. And he had to win. Let's be honest, 205 Live, I don't watch it. You know why? Because I have no hyping for it. There's nothing there for me to really be caring about. Last year, from what I understood, it was really good. And I did grab a couple of episodes of it. And it was good. But it was hard to keep up with it, particularly with all the trouble I was going in physically. I was getting sick a lot. So I could not really watch it. It was hard just doing these reviews. But this year, there's nothing there. The show sucks. Doesn't mean the performers on it suck. The wrestlers on it suck. It's just how they've been booked. How it's been shown. Its time slot sucks. So no one is really being that interested in it. But now you got somebody that may make it interesting. And an Enzo Amore. He won by cheating. He got his ass kicked multiple times during that entire match. He got destroyed by Neville. But in the end, he had to cheat to win. Alright. Is that bad? No. Because this is about Enzo getting over. The one person that we know people care about. And the one person the WWE has been sponsoring through all their Twitter accounts stating that Enzo's a pain in the ass. Because we know if there's a real guy being a pain in the ass, it's not about them actually saying it on Twitter. In fact, they would say it less on Twitter. And they would handle it themselves in the business. You have someone that's annoying you, you basically would essentially solve it yourself without having to advertise it. Smack the guy around, make the guy do some extra work, and then he shuts up, learns his lesson, and stops. This was staged. So essentially this is what you get. Now, anything else I'm missing? Not really, other than JoJo looked gorgeous. I don't think I have a shot of her, so I'll have to use a stock shot. Woman looked gorgeous on the, now I know why Bray Wyatt wants it so bad. And Bray Wyatt should leave WWE. There you go, that's the last thing I wanted to say. Now, Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. What the fuck? I'm sorry for cursing. I think that's the only curse I've done so far, I think. I can understand why they didn't want to do this in Survivor Series. Because this was a terrible ending. Why? You really needed something special, particularly that I've been saying this for a while. With Brock not there, no one cares anymore. You need something new, refreshing, abstract, hot. Something that just sparks something. All those words that were either scrambled, didn't make any sense. That's what you needed in a Braun Strowman, and you don't even bother to let him have the title. Where easily you can put it back on Brock. You could give it back to him at TLC, or better yet, Survivor Series. Build it up, but nope. Nope. Was it a good match? Yeah, it was. But did it really help the company? No! Brock Lesnar should not be holding that title because he's not there. I don't care what the freaking contract says that he keeps that title. If it's written to his contract, that was the worst contract WWE could have done. That he keeps it more often than he loses. Because you just hurt the company. Braun Strowman is so hot right now. Braun Strowman is right now not as hot as Austin. Not as hot as The Rock. But think about this. The very beginnings of The Rock. The very beginnings of Austin. He's there. Not when they're here. They're here. When they've been noticed. When they've been cared about. And they're slowly beginning to rise. They hit the ceiling and shatter it, as they say. He's here. Exactly where The Rock is. Exactly where Austin is. Hell, you can even say to a certain extent, taking away from the Wyatts, when he was finally by himself and they were pushing him, a very not close second to how The Undertaker or Kane started, but somewhere just slightly behind them. The difference between him and them is that they had a manager that managed them and got them over. In this case, he doesn't. That's the reason why they're here when they started, and they were starting high because they had a manager talking for them. They did their work. Braun's right about here, just slightly under them, beginning to rise to the point where they could be great. I still say it'd take him a couple of years before he reaches there because he's still by himself. If he had a manager, it would be better. If he had Paul Heyman, it would be great. But no! This is what you get! Are you serious? This was the dumbest show I've seen in a long time. That you wouldn't let Braun Strowman win. You let John Cena get the spotlight instead of Roman Reigns getting the spotlight. You don't let Nia Jax win at all. Honestly, you don't let her win. Then you're crazy enough to have a man versus man match where both these guys mean nothing. And it just angers me. Even though it was pretty good Jason Jordan lost the way he did, as long as him and his daddy turned heel. Enzo Amore, pretty good. I'm alright with it. I'm glad he did win, and cheating is not that bad for Enzo. He had to do what he had to do. And then seeing that, well, mini shield, everybody still wants to see the mini shield. I'm angry that Dean Ambrose broke Cesaro's teeth. Probably knocked him down his freaking throat, literally. Because we didn't see him spit him out afterward, did we? Maybe. Unless he swallowed them. That pisses me off. But this is my point of view. Please tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!